longer company-sponsored, but it is still made up of employees, their spouses, and other interested persons. You can go to their website, and they will happily give you further information. These two are very small thumbnails that I pulled off of their historic pictures. I could not get a current picture to come off. This is off the website, so these are the history books. The Dow Chemical Chorus. This is the 1940s. This is the female chorus, but this isn't the only thing they had. They had a full orchestra. They had a male chorus. They combined them for the full lessons, lots of lessons. Amazing the stuff that they did. Okay. Now the thing that's really cool about the department stores in particular is often they would feed their chorus. If they had a Monday night rehearsal, the stores would close at 5:30. Singers would go to their lunchroom. And you have to remember, these are huge department stores. If any of you remember anything about Hudson's, they had this upstairs on the 8th floor or something, this big dining hall where you could go in. A lot of these big places still have them. You can go to Macy's, which was Marshall Field's in Chicago, and up on their top floor, there's the Oak Room. It's gorgeous. This is a dining hall. Therefore, there's a working kitchen. So this is what the folks would do. The rehearsal went from 6:15 to 7:45. From 5:30 till 6, they were fed. They went up, and dinner was served to them on company expense. This is not the only place that did it. Most of the large companies that were department stores that had food service spaces did the same thing. It was really pretty cool. The director for all of these groups, chorus, band, whatever, there's 10 pages in a research book that I found, 10 pages describing how to choose good music, how to find a good music director, and what methods and procedures you need to keep the program fresh. The wise choice of a director was key, because you needed somebody who wasn't just a good musician, but was committed to both the ensemble and the company, and tended to stay in their positions. The male chorus that was with Buick started a ways back. It's still in existence as a community group. Okay, it started 80 years ago. They've had only 4 directors. These are long-lived positions. So consistency was also a part of this picture. This sounds like a job for music teachers. We need a person with a positive, dynamic personality, a sense of humor, excellent musicianship, and outstanding organizational skills. Do not be artsy, but please, we do expect artistry.
What does that mean?
This one was just a whole pile of stuff. Where did I get this one from? This was in Smith's book, part of the 10 pages of the book.
But like written in 1930, 19...
Oh, I have to back up and find it.
Yeah, sorry, but I love that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff was, don't be artsy, because they would put off the workers. These are blue-collar people for the most part. Don't be, a real artsy, but you have to have good artistry.
That's wonderful.
Kind of thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, so then we get into what bands were doing, and I'm going to go on with pictures because I'll get to what they're doing in the meantime. The big 3 all had something, along with Oldsmobile and Buick. I'd like to show you what they all look like. There's 1919. This is the Dodge Band. You get to hear these guys, too. I have it on an internet thing, so I'll play that before we're done. This is, that's not going to work. This is the director of the Dodge Band until 1919. Liberati always posed this way. I found his files at the Library of Congress. There isn't one picture that he isn't stringing exact. And the medals and the whole thing. He used to play with Sousa. He's a top-line cornetist. Top of flight cornetist. But he's also kind of stuck on his post. And there's a picture of his house. In his house, this is an oil painting on the wall. Hysterical. Okay, in 1920, the Dodge Band changed directors, and they kind of added. I love the harp in the band. I thought it was an orchestra when I first saw it, but there's not a violin in sight. There is a harp. Interesting. Okay, the Dodge Band program, it was quite fancy. They were playing all kinds of stuff. Really typical for the 1920s. A lot of transcriptions of orchestral stuff. I don't have the rest of it. It went on for pages. Buick had their own band. This is from Flint, 1916. I love the uniforms as they changed through time. This is the GM band in 1926. Must have been cold out that day. Those big greatcoats. This is from Oakland, the Oakland, Pontiac, Michigan GM branch band. This is the Ford band. This is 1915. This is the early stuff. First ones that were developed. There. Come on, baby. There we go. Then the Curtis Publishing Company. This was the company that put out Ladies' Home Journal. Yeah, all those kind of magazines, Boys' Life, all that stuff. They had an orchestra in Philadelphia. And this was their program, and they were doing, if I can catch some of this, it's pretty blurry. But it's typical orchestral stuff. So especially, this is between 1913 and 1919. So whatever was current at the time. There's some Strauss in there. Some other kinds of characters I've never heard of. And there were others. I mean, these guys, everybody had bands. You just name a company. I could give you a list that's an arm's length down. I wouldn't be done with the companies, the names of the kinds of companies. Everybody had something. The big ones, Jones, Armco, Consolidated, they actually had music departments, along with Dow Chemical and a few others. So what are they doing for education with all these people doing all this stuff? Winemakers offered their employees music appreciation courses and free tickets to the New York Philharmonic on Sunday. Bamberger's had music appreciation lectures at its store at 5:45 after the store closed on Monday. It was a good time. I guess they used it a lot. They subsidized tickets also for the New York Phil. Filene's in Boston, these were all department stores. They had a full-time music supervisor to conduct the chorus and orchestra. And they were provided with, and this is a quote, entire musical training for many of their employees, free of charge to anybody who had, quote, necessary music talent and showed a willingness to study, end quote. These stores also sponsored concerts in the morning to get the buying public to come in, do a sing-along, and come shop, because now the store is open. So they do all this like a half an hour before they unlock the door. Today we do it mall walks. Come to the mall, walk around for an hour, get a mile in, and the stores are open. You'll stay and have coffee, or you'll shop or something. Consolidated Vultee, that's Convair. It's an airline company. They had 2 music classes available, one for the day and one for the swing shifts. Employees could learn, get this is a lot, folks, elementary harmony, form and analysis, and music appreciation. 2 hours once a week, and over 100 employees in attendance. A lot of the rehearsals included lessons in the sense of teaching before the rehearsal started, little sectionals to help people learn things. Some of these choruses were really kind of tough on you. If you couldn't hold your part in 3 rehearsals, you were out. Ooh. Ooh. So you'd better show up for those pre-rehearsal lessons kinds of things. Companies were also, some of these company groups were open to community membership as well, especially the mill towns, the companies that were part of owning the whole place, as it were. And so they would often have repertoire and pre-rehearsal lessons that were part of the organization, but also open to the community, so they got music education as well if they showed up. But one of the biggest one was the Midland Music up there with Dow Chemical. They combined musical groups there, complemented and encouraged the community's own music programs. Because there was a city-sponsored band and a concert series and several church choirs. So they worked together on all of these. Really, it's amazing. Here's the Jones Band at a ship launching with some nice little child sitting up there getting to wave his baton. Notice the hard hats. This is a ship launch. There's 3 other pictures in the sequence without the band in it. And there's a big ship getting ready to have a launching. So they need the hard hats. Here's your IBM band. It started back in the this is around 1918. At the time it was ITR, International something. I didn't get it all, what the others are, but it became International Business Machines.
Registers,
cash registers or something. Tills on registers, maybe.